Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Martial Master based on novel. So let's start. Little Chen, this is the guardian of the gods. They are all the elites of the city lord's mansion. In Tsengshuan City, the Ao family is respected. The Ao family was once a large family in Yunju. Later, the Guanghan mansion was established and the Ao family was sent to Tsengshuan. Qin Chen became the lord of Tsengshuan City and took charge of Tsengshuan City. Is currently the largest family in Tsengshuan City. Shong Gukong hurriedly explained. Of course, in addition to the Ao family, Tsengshuan City also has some ancient local forces, which are also very powerful. Now that the guards of the **** armor of the City Lord's mansion are dispatched, it seems that they are welcoming someone, and they must be the powerful. Shong Jiu Kong's voice just fell. A divine ship appeared in the sky, and on this divine ship, a famous young man stood proudly, each full of arrogance soaring to the sky, and his aura was like the ocean, extremely frightening. Especially the young man standing at the bow of the ship is even more remarkable. This young man is throbbing with divine flames, turning into circles of divine rings, like a shelter from the gods. It seems that he is a divine child, his eyes are stern, and he does not look at all downward. Tsengshuan City is just ahead of the proud world. It should be understood that Tsengshuan City is a big city, anyone can only enter through the city gate, but this group of people can come from the sky in a divine ship, and their identity is absolutely different. The Soulfire is around, is a member of the Yunju Soulfire family, but it is actually Li Dongyu, the eldest son of the Soulfire family, is here? Seeing the young people on this ship, various exclamations came from all around, many people evaded one after another, and Shong Gukong couldn't help being moved, and hurriedly pulled Qin Chen and the others away. Why do you want to avoid it? He hides when he sees people. This is not Qin Chen's style, he asked with a smile. Qin Tingting glanced at Qin Chen suspiciously. Senior, Yunju Soul and Fire family, haven't you heard of it? Master Ben hasn't heard of it. Qin Chen said with a smile. Although this Soul Fire family seemed very powerful, Qin Chen could see through it at a glance. The young man in front of the divine ship seemed to be only the pinnacle of the mortal holy realm, close to the earthly holy realm, but had not broken through. As long as he is below Earth's age, Qin Chen is not afraid of anyone. On the contrary, the flames entwined with each other made Qin Chen quite curious. This flame was not earth fire, sky fire, demon fire, blood fire, and demon fire, but a special kind of flame. Qin Chen saw it for the first time. Qin Tingting smiled bitterly and patted her forehead. She forgot that Qin Chen was not a member of Yunju. However, the Soulfire family is a famous family in Yunju. Xiao Chen has never even heard of the Soulfire family. Far away from Yunju. Place it. With little dust, the Soulfire family is one of the most famous families in Yunju and one of the strongest inheritances in Yunju. Although they are not the controlling family of Yunju, they are the first-class family in Yunju. Yunzhou's controlling family is almost just point. Yes, the Li family of the Soulfire family is one of the oldest families in Yunju. It is said that the heavens existed before the shattered world, and they claimed to be descendants of the Holy Lord. Shong Gukong explained. That's it. Qin Chen nodded. No wonder the people here are so jealous. The descendants of the former saints sound like awesome. This Soulfire family has a special method, born with the power of Soulfire. This power can burn everything. It is said to rely on soul power to burn. It is Yunzhou's top flame mystery. All talents are so famous. Not only. Therefore, Li Dongyu, the eldest son of the Soulfire family in this life, has an older sister, a well-known beauty in Yunju, with amazing talent, and even above Li Dongyu, he was betrothed to Master Yunju. Juzi? Qin Chen asked with a smile. Qin Tingting knew that Qin Chen didn't know anything, so she explained, Master Zhouzi is Yunmeng's, the elder son of the Yun family, the lord of Yunju. He is one of the 3 most dazzling new stars among our Yunju Tianjiao, and also Yunju. Son of the Overlord. Oh, I see, it's a second-generation official. Qin Chen smiled. Li Wanxue of the Soulfire family is the top arrogant in Yunju. I heard that it was betrothed to Yun Mengs of Yunju not long ago. Of course it is just a rumor. No one knows the truth or not, but it is enough to make the soul fire. The reputation of the family has gone up. Qin Ting. Ting smiled bitterly. This kind of family rumors, to them, was like gossip, too far away. The one on the ship just now is Li Wanshue's younger brother Li Dongyu, the son of the Soulfire family. Shang Gukong looked wary. The Soulfire family is the top family, we better avoid this kind of existence. No wonder Shang Gukong is cautious. The Guzhong school is just a small sect in Yunju, and it is completely incomparable with the top aristocratic families like the Soulfire family. It can even be said that the Soulfire family can destroy them with a finger. For such a behemoth. Of course, Shang Gukong must stay far away. In this world where the strong respects the strong, the way of life for a small person is to not cause trouble, not to cause trouble. Not only Qin Chen and the others are discussing, but other warriors around are also discussing. This time in the Tsangshuan City event, even the Soulfire family elders were shocked. It seems that ordinary people's hopes are greatly reduced. Really, these arrogances are born with a golden key and already possess inexhaustible resources. Why should they compete with us ordinary people? Chimph, what can you do about this? This world is born with it so unfair. To be honest, it's pretty good to be born in the celestial realm. Haven't you heard? Recently, the rules of the celestial realm have improved under the influence of Xiaoyaro Supreme. After establishing contact with some continents in the lower realm has gradually begun to ascend to the heavens again. Compared with those ants in the lower realm, we are already lucky enough. The lower bound? That's true. The lower realms are all small ponds, and it's difficult to even become a holy level. It's said that the continents below are lacking in true qi to die, and a little holy qi is very precious. Unlike our heavenly realm, who can breathe at will, they are all pure and pure. Saint. Gas. Friends, those in the lower realm can't be underestimated. Before the heavens were destroyed, there were still many masters in the lower realms. There have been outstanding characters of all races. Think about it, in an environment lacking aura, can practice. People in the sanctified state, when they reach the heaven, don't know what they will grow into. But we don't need to think about these things. It just happens that the battle with the demons is still going on. If the people from the lower realms really reach the heavens, it's not bad to let them be cannon fodder. By the way, I heard the news. It is said that Li Dongyu, the eldest son of the Soulfire family, came to Tsangshuan City because he fell in love with the eldest lady of the City Lord's mansion Ao's family and wanted to come on a blind date. Hey, there is even this news. No wonder the first son of Li Dongyu will appear here. I think this rumor is true. There is this kind of gossip. Qin Chen smiled slightly. Compared with the lower realm, this strong man in the heaven is also very secular. Temph, who do you listen to? Nonsense, aren't you afraid of being cut off your tongue? At this moment, a pleasant voice resounded with dissatisfaction. Qin Chen looked back and saw that it was a woman, dressed in academic clothes, with a folding fan in her hands. She was disguised as a man. She had a very ethereal temperament, and her aura had reached the peak of the final stage of the holy realm. It's not far. At this moment, this woman looked very dissatisfied when looking at several warriors who were discussing there. Who are you? We chat, can you control it? The warriors glanced at the woman and said with a sneer. The woman's aura converged very well, and Qin Chen could see that, from the outside, she was almost an ordinary mortal martial artist. The woman sneered, you guys, where did you hear the news? It's ridiculous that the eldest lady of the Ao family will fall in love with the kind of vulgar people who show off their power. Yawu and prestige. That is clearly Chiushuanang, okay? TSK, look, even the **** armor guards of the City Lord's mansion are personally escorted. If the City Lord's mansion is not interested in the sons of the Soulfire family, who believes? It's ridiculous. The woman's tone was disdainful, but she was too lazy to argue. It's just you vulgar people that think it's a magnificent beauty. Qin Chen took a deep look at the woman, and he found the woman's tone. The disdain in the middle seems not to be a pretend, but a kind of really look down on, a woman in the mortal realm would actually look down on the son of the Soulfire family, a bit. Meaning, "Miss, why are you here? The first son of Li Dongyu has already gone to the city lord's mansion. The adults are looking for you everywhere. Go back quickly." At this moment, a guard wearing divine armor was looking for something anxiously, suddenly saw the woman disguised as a man, rushed forward and respectfully kneeled in front of this woman. This woman is obviously distinguished and has something to do with the city lord's mansion. Seeing this scene, the faces of the warriors who were talking about before were all panicked, their faces turned pale, and cold sweat on their foreheads. They even slandered the eldest lady of the City Lord Mansion in front of the people of the City Lord Mansion. The bodies trembled crazily and their faces were ashen. "Get up, there are a lot of people here, don't show my identity." The woman waved her hand to make the guard of the **** armor stand up, then looked at the people and said coldly, "You guys, get out of here. I heard your nonsense again and again. Up your mouth." Yes. These people were overjoyed, and never expected that this woman would let them go. Her heart was filled with palpitations while rejoicing, so she must not talk nonsense in the future. Qin Chen was also surprised. He didn't think that this woman had a good-mindedness, and she let them go. Okay. Just when Qin Chen saw a joke and was about to leave, suddenly, he felt a chill, which was transmitted from the crowd not far away, extremely obscure, but the murderous ingenuity was incomparable. What a murderous spirit, who is it? He immediately looked over, and saw a dark shadow flashing in the void, as if traveling through the void. Suddenly a sword penetrated directly at the woman next to him. It turned out to be an assassin, violently attacking, to assassinate the woman beside him. This pitch-black sword gas pierced through countless spaces to assassinate, and the target was directed at the woman wearing a scholar costume. Countless sword chi tore to the outside, sword intent is vertical and horizontal, and there is a **** storm on the street. Before, I was fortunate to have recovered the lives of the few mortal Saint Realm martial artists, even a sword light. Can't resist it, I'm completely strangled into a virtual reality. Nothing, the whole body penetrates nothingness, as if it has turned into a part of the power of Kendo, into this sword aura that contains endless killing intent. Killing sword aura. Qin Chen was startled. The other party turned out to be a killer sword aura, and this killing mood was very terrifying. After beheading a person, he could plunder the original strength of the other person after death and turn it into the sword aura itself. The meaning of killing makes the attack more and more, the more fierce and fierce. This method is extremely evil. The assassin was definitely a master, extremely dangerous. Qin Chen even felt the power of the terrifying profound rules contained in his body. The endless and terrifying sword aura contained spatial artistic conception. He slashed out, blasted out with one blow, no oath. Looking back, this is a law. Moreover, this person's strength is extremely terrifying. He has reached the peak of the late mortal sage realm, and even only one step away from the earth sage realm, it can be said that half of his foot has entered the earth sage realm. On the square, many masters of the mortal realm were torn apart, their flesh and blood were extraordinary, and they couldn't stop a blow at all. Even in the late stage of the mortal realm, they were all beheaded with a single blow, turning them into a piece of kendo. Power. The sword of law. Miss, be careful. The guard of the **** armor beside the woman yelled in anger, and instantly rushed out, turning into a stream of light, blocking her in front of her, actually using her body to block her, seeing death as home, but that fierce sword light just penetrate his body directly, holy. The divine armor was torn apart, it was difficult to resist an instant, and it did not stop at all. The woman reacted extremely quickly. At the moment when the guard of the **** armor stopped her, she immediately shot, banging, and suddenly, a terrible aura lingered out. This woman was definitely not weaker, even better than the leader of the ancient Zhong sect. Xian is even stronger. However, the other party was ready to go, and she was hurriedly challenged. The Sheng Yuan displayed was immediately pierced, and the robes on her body also exploded. At the same time, the many treasures on her body were also exploded. Can't resist the sword at all. The edge. Suddenly, this woman fell into a desperate situation. The swordmaker is unprecedentedly fierce, vicious, and inhumane. He was born specifically for assassination. The most important thing is that his cultivation is too strong. He is half-step holy. Combined with this assassination secret technique, even ordinary Earth Holy Masters can't resist it, will be cut. Kill. At least, even Shang Gukong couldn't react, and was affected by the sword with Qin Chen. When the assassin was shot, he didn't leave his mouth at all. Not only did he want to kill the woman, he also wanted to kill all the martial artists around him, becoming the force in his sword, and completing his supreme blow. He also did this. This sword blatantly broke through all the defenses on this woman, and wanted to pierce into this woman's body. Moreover, an invisible force rippling over to destroy the woman's soul. Kill. At this moment, all the people saw a pair of eyes at that moment, cold, with endless killing intent, and saw that they were about to succeed in the assassination, showing a ghostly smile. When, however, his smile stopped. At the moment when the woman was finally killed, a hand, like lightning, appeared on the top of the blade, and a hand actually held the blade in the palm of the hand. The endless power contained in that blade, at this moment, all blasted into an endless depth. In the abyss, was resisted by a stalwart figure. This stalwart figure is the owner of the palm. Qin Chen. Qin Chen held the sword in his hand at the moment of a critical moment of life and death, and at the same time forcibly withstood the peerless blow that surged from the sword, with eternal killing intent. Boom! The killing intent and sword aura power poured into his body, and in an instant, it was about to overwhelm Qin Chen's body, and the terrifying killing power would completely explode Qin Chen. Immortal Eucharist. Qin Chen took a deep breath, the power in his body was mobilized to the extreme, and in his eyes, a terrifying light was blasted out, and he looked deeply into the eyes of the assassin. The majestic original power in his body turned solid. Physical body, instantly. At the extreme, the sword aura in Qin Chen's body lingered, urging the rules of space, and the origin in his body was spinning crazily, forcibly disintegrating the killing aura and sword aura. This is what Qin Chen can do, because his physical body is extremely powerful, comparable to the earthly saints, and Qin Chen's strongest is his skills in kendo. He has the rules of killing, and he is the most familiar with this kind of attack, otherwise he will change himself. Come, even. Shang Gukong will also be penetrated by this sword. The assassin was shocked. He never thought that his law would be blocked by others. Even the terrifying mood of killing contained in the sword was like a stone sinking into the sea, being suppressed forcibly. What happened to that person? Point. Ground. Mid-holy. Late Earth Saint. However, the other party did not have the aura of Earth Saint. Just like him, he was in the mortal sacred realm, or the pinnacle of the mortal sacred realm, but how could such a person resist his law? It should be known that he is a peerless assassin who has assassinated an earthly master. Kill. This assassin, after all, is a peerless master, a crazy strong, unable to assassinate with a single sword, so he closed the sword abruptly, and Qin Chen grabbed it hard, and the endless rules on the blade suddenly moved, and the terrifying aura agitated. And breed an infinite sharp breath. This is a holy sword, and it is extremely extraordinary among the holy swords. Of course, it has not reached the level of an earthly holy weapon, otherwise Qin Chen would also be injured under this sword. Puff. Qin Chen's palm stabbed slightly, and a slight gap was cut open, and the other party forcibly pulled out the sharp sword from Qin Chen's hand. Unfortunately, if my cultivation base is higher, this child will not be able to withdraw the sword at all. Qin Chen sighed. The strength of this peerless assassin was too strong to assassinate the master of the early days of the Earth Saint. No matter how strong Qin Chen is, under these sage soldiers and regular sword aura, it is absolutely impossible to force the opponent to leave behind. Li Jian could not help but regret. If you let other people hear this, you will definitely go crazy. With this sword, the early masters of the Earth Sage will be beheaded, but Qin Chen is so dissatisfied with a little oily skin on his hand, and it is more angry than people. This assassin drew his sword and swept it on the spot. A dozen people died under the sword across the street. Other mortal masters at the peak of the sacred realm, under this attack, were like cutting melons and vegetables. Beheaded, there is no resistance. Qin Tingting, be careful. The vigor hit. Shong Gukong stood in front of Qin Tingting. The earthly holy breath lingered, resisting the attack of sword chi for her. The assassin's sharp sword absorbed a lot of power and burned again. Just when everyone thought he would assassinate again, the mysterious assassin, without a hit, turned into a black smoke and fleet madly outside Tsongshuan City. In a moment, just to disappear into the void. Stay for me. Where did Qin Chen allow the assassin to leave? He blasted out a punch right away. Killing fist. Boom. The terrifying power swept across the street, and the sky above the street was like a big storm, containing the power of endless rules, shaking the whole street, and many warriors on the scene retreated under this pressure and did not dare to watch. In the mighty storm, a terrifying fist shadow swept out, like a billion mad dragon going out to sea, stirring the wind and clouds, the fist shadow covering the sky and the sun, containing the rules of the universe, shaking the four directions. Karka, the surrounding buildings are all trembling in rustle, start. Cracked. Countless warriors have felt the huge fluctuations in the St. Yuan, sweeping across this street. Many strong men have felt the power of suffocation. This is the power of the Earth Saint level. When Qin Chen bombarded directly behind the assassin. The assassin was furious, knowing that if this blow hit him, he would not die or be disabled. He turned around and quickly shot his sword against the mighty fist. Shoo! The endless sword light surged, and the assassin unexpectedly displayed more than 3,600 swords in this instant. Each sword was a killing intent and contained endless aura. More than 3,600 swords gathered in together, they form a sword light across the sky, booming. Long blocked Qin Chen's fist. Kang dang. Heavenly sword light shattered. Puff. The assassin flew upside down, vomiting blood in his mouth, but his figure kept going, and he was about to sink into the void again. Unfortunately, although my attack is strong, it is not easy to use the time rules, and many of the cards are not easy to use, otherwise, this one can directly disrupt the time and kill the assassin. Qin Chen was hesitating. Do you want to show some bottom? Card, behead this assassin. At this moment of hesitation, a roar came from not far away. Boldly, dare to assassinate the lady and seek death. Boom. Countless powerful auras rushed in. Not far from the depths of Tsongshuan City, a famous master came over. Each of them was magnificent, and the leader was an old man. He burst into the sky with anger. The burning arrogance went straight into the sky, the hole. The void is almost solidified. This person was extremely fast, swish swish, a few flashes, and he had already appeared in midair. Suddenly, countless people present couldn't help but want to kneel and bow to the ground. Earth Sage Midterm Master. No, the Mid-Earth Sage Peak. Shong Gukong was taken aback and lost his voice. In Tsongshuan City, as long as it is an Earth Saint martial artist, it is already considered a strong side, and can build a small power, but that is only the early stage of the Earth Saint, or even the initial peak. After arriving in the middle stage of the Earth Saint, it is completely different, not to mention it is only a small level, but it is extremely difficult. Shang Gukong has not been able to break through the penance of thousands of years. Such masters are enough to establish a medium power. Continue the number in Tsongshuan City. Inheritance for thousands of years. As for the late Earth Sage, that is a powerful person who can dominate Tsongshuan City. It is said that the City Lord of Tsongshuan City, Ao Lai, is the master of the late Earth Sage, and some people say it is the peak of the late Earth Sage. It is rumored that it is Tsongshuan City, the first master. As for the real reality, power, no one knows. Boom. This old man appeared and rushed directly to the mysterious assassin. What? The assassin was taken aback and was about to run away, but the old man shook him out of the void with a palm in the air, then stepped on the void and turned into a mysterious step, and hit the assassin with a powerful assassin. This is ancient holy warfare. The assassin was shocked, and hurried back with a sword. Boom. However, as soon as his sword energy was cut out, he was enveloped by endless fist power. Bang, bang, all the space around his body was imprisoned, various bursts of sound came from his body, and the sword chi displayed was it exploded quickly, the figure left and right, the root. Ben couldn't rush out. Is this the master of the Mid-Earth Sage Peak? So strong. Qin Chen was shocked. The middle stage of the Earth Sage was far better than the early stage of the Earth Sage. More than a little bit, the assassin was also a master of the half-step Earth Sage, able to leapfrog the level of assassination, but in front of the old man, he had no ability to resist. Whoosh whoosh. At the same time, a stream of light swept behind the old man, rushing towards the woman beside Qin Chen. "Miss, are you okay? The subordinates are late for help, please forgive me. Come on, heal the lady quickly." There were shouts of anger, these streamers fell down, and everyone was panicked, stepping forward and asking questions. Boom. But at this time, after struggling, the assassin was finally suppressed by the old man and held it in his hand, like a chicken, without any resistance. The old man's figure flashed and landed, and the audience was silent. The burning holy aura is restrained, the old man's eyes are muddy, but he bursts into ejaculation. He is wearing a simple dress, but between his gestures, there is a great momentum blooming, holding the power that can crush everything, and he is looking everywhere. It's Cai Gaofeng from the City Lord's mansion. The chief steward of the City Lord's mansion. It is rumored that Cai Gaofeng, the chief steward of the City Lord's mansion, is in charge of many affairs of Tsongshuan City, and his cultivation has reached the peak of the mid-earth holy realm. It is possible to break through the late earthly holy realm at any time. No wonder he is so tyrannical that the assassin was captured in a moment. The assassin didn't know how he came from, so he dared to do an assassination in Tsongshuan City. He really wanted to die. The crowd talked, shocked and inexplicable. "Miss, the old slave is too late. He deserves to die." Miss is shocked. When Cai Gaofeng fell, he knelt down and bowed directly, treating the woman respectfully, like a slave. This made everyone even more shocked. There are many women in the City Lord's mansion, and there are many people who can be called young ladies, but there is only one person who can be called a young lady by Cai Gaofeng, the chief steward of the City Lord mansion, the daughter of City Lord Ao Lai of Tsongshuan City, Kang the Pearl of Xuanchengboil Qingling. "Uncle Cai, please hurry up, I'm fine, I thanked this friend for his help before. Hey, where is this friend?" Zhuo Qingling turned her head and suddenly let out a startled suspicion. "I don't know when Qin Chen already knows. Whereabouts?" Seeing Cai Gaofeng's arrival, Qin Chen knew that the assassin was bound to die, so he took Shong Gukong and Qin Tingting and left immediately. After all, he was just borrowing the identity of the ancient Zhong sect. The other side must be. We'll investigate his identity. Besides, Qin Chen didn't want anything in return. When would he not leave at this time? When did the man who rescued Miss City Lord's mansion leave? I don't even know. Yeah, I didn't see it. What kind of luck was it to save Miss City Lord's mansion? The Lord City Lord would not be exaggerated to say thanks, and he left quietly. It's amazing. The man who rescued the eldest lady is also a powerful character. At the moment, he blocked the killer and also prevented the killer from escaping. Otherwise, when the opponent escapes from Tsongshuan City, it is very likely that he will be hidden. I thought he was not old before. He seemed to be a young man. Could it be that he was also the arrogant talent of some top power outside Tsongshuan City? At least I had never heard of this person in Tsongshuan City. The crowd calmed down at this time, and there was a lot of discussion, and many masters also came from afar. They all heard the news here and watched the excitement. "Uncle Cai, you must find my savior. If it weren't for him, I was in danger before. I must repay him face to face." Zhu Qingling said anxiously. She is a woman who is jealous and hateful, repays gratitude, grievances, and does not pretend or twitch. "Miss, don't worry, the old slave will help you find the person, but the most important thing is to figure out the origin of the assassin." The old man said, turning his head to look at the assassin in his hand, and said coldly, "Say, you where is the killer? Why do you want to assassinate? My lady, otherwise, I want you to die." Quack, no space and no me. The assassin suddenly laughed strangely, and said 4 words, the whole soul was shocked, turned into nothingness, disappeared, and turned into nothingness. His soul was self-destructed, and it was directly returned to nothingness. Different from self-destruction, it was too late to suppress it. Damn it. Upon seeing this, The old man directly squeezed the corpse open and took off the storage ring and sword, but he knew that there was basically no useful information in it. No space organization. There were whispers from the crowd. Uncle Cai, what is the Wukong organization? Zhu Qingling asked with a frown. The old man's face was gloomy, and he said coldly, "This is a mysterious killer organization that we have just infiltrated into our Yunju. This organization is called the Wukong Organization. Recently, it has been buying all the major forces in Yunju. Unexpectedly, it has infiltrated it now. Wheatsangshuan City. But why does this organization want to assassinate me?" Zhu Qingling was still puzzled. This old slave doesn't know. Maybe the master knows something. It seems that this matter should be reported to the master right away. By the way, the first son of Li Dongyu of the Soulfire family arrived at the city lord's mansion. "Why did you run out, miss? I will take you right away. Bring back." "I won't go back. The elder son of the Soulfire family will be here. Let my father receive him." "Why do I have to go back?" Zhu Qingling pouted, dissatisfied. The old man smiled bitterly. "Miss, your mind master still doesn't understand. Don't worry, the master will not force you, but after all, the Soulfire family is the top power in Yunju. My AO family still has to give some face, let alone, you just did. Danger, if you don't take you back, the master will punish the old slave. You can't watch the old slave get punished." Okay, can't I go back? By the way, the benefactor who saved me just now, you must find it for me, and I want to personally thank him." Zhu Qingling patted her chest. To be honest, she has lingering fears even now. After all, she has encountered such a thing. There is no interest in traveling outside. "Don't worry, the old slave will find it for you." The old man smiled and sighed in his heart, such a good lady, and so considerate of their servants. If any young man can marry in the future, it would be a blessing for 8 lifetimes. The old man hopes Miss Happiness more than anyone else. At this time, on another street in Tsangshuan City, the 3 Qin Chen slowly walked on the street. "Senior, why did we leave just now? If I'm not mistaken, the person just now should be the eldest lady of the city lord's mansion." "Senior, you saved the eldest lady of the city lord's mansion. You will definitely repay you with the face of Lord City Lord, right?" Qin Tingting couldn't help but wonder. This video will end here.